Hey viewers, welcome all. This is JJ Wilson once again. Gonna continue my volume reviews on GANGSTA CURSED. If you haven't checked out the other earlier vids that I've done, it should be on my upload list. So you want to stop by my channel and check out those earlier reviews on this volume. Volume 1, GANGSTA CURSED. You can do that, because right now I'm going to discuss chapter 3. So I'm continuing on with what I picked up from chapter 2. Yeah, so this review, now this chapter here is it's a lot going on in this chapter, but I'm gonna do the best I can to try not to make it real long, so bear with me here. Alright, let's hop into it. So we start off with Yang and Delico when they were the kids. You know, the two guys that were working under Daniel Monroe. Yeah, so they're outside, they're at the orphanage. I guess this is where they grew up. And this is probably near Monroe's estate, or it's probably, the estate is the orphanage or whatnot. So they're out there playing, and they're totally unaware of what's going on in the city. They're totally unaware that the destroyers are just tearing the whole city up with their hunts, killing off Twilight. So while they're playing, they catch up with what we see is Erica, a little blonde girl holding her toy bunny, and she's waving back at them. So they're playing together, and like I said, they're just unaware of what's going on over there in that city. It's getting really crazy out there. And so we go into the city, and we see that we pick up where in chapter 2, Chester, the big guy with the prosthetic arm, he's part of the mercenary guild. He's fighting Stryker, one of the destroyers. So he starts fighting him, and Stryker, he's able to he tries to land Chester with a kick, but Chester catches that, and then he throws him in a wall. Like, he just tossed him like he was a rag doll. He just throws him right in a wall. And so yeah, Beretta, she kind of notices that. She sees that, and the next thing you know, Stryker bounces off that wall. He's able to recover real quick, and they're about to attack at the same time. They're about to attack Chester all at once. So the little girl, later on in this chapter, we finally find out her name. Her name is Eva. So Eva sees Chester getting attacked at the same time, so she goes, catches at Beretta, but Beretta, she's able to stop her. She's able to stop Eva from attacking Chester, not Chester, but Stryker. She's able to stop her attack, and she's like, why don't we get to play some more together? Why don't we get to do that? And so now, because of that, it's a one-on-one fight between Stryker and Chester. And so I think Stryker is able to damage Chester's arm. I forget exactly how he does it, but I think they collide in midair or whatnot, and then they land back down, and and Stryker jokingly said, "Looks like I got the upper hand on you now," because his prosthetic arm got damaged. But at the same time, we see Marco. There's a scene with Marco, who in this comic is known as Spies. Spies takes out something out of his pouch behind his back, and he shoots it. He shoots a upper with the drug called Celeber. For those that don't know, that's a drug that Twilight's like to use to, you know, to gain advantage in a fight, so they can get increased abilities. So he uses that, and then, but by using that drug, he's able to cut off Chester's arm while he wasn't looking, because he was about to get a Stryker again. But he managed to cut his whole arm off with that prosthetic arm. He's able to cut it off completely, and so that totally immobilized Chester. And the next thing you know, Spies is able to cut off the man's neck, and he ends up killing Chester. So and then Stryker and Beretta look on. Stryker's looking like, damn, this dude, he must have doped, didn't he? I know he must have took that drug. So he ends up killing Chester easily by taking that upper. And so Evan, in retaliation, she sees that, and she's very angry. She's mad at somebody killed pretty much what she looked up to as a father figure, it seems. So she's pissed off at that. And next thing you know, she attacks Spies, but Spies is able to cut her right leg with his wires. He's able to cut her right leg, and now she can still move somehow. And like she's full of adrenaline now. She's that angry. after what happened. But Beretta sees that, and she's able to subdue Eva with her whip. She's able to wrap her body around with that whip, and she's bleeding all over her arms and chest because of those edges around that whip that Beretta uses. And so while she's hogtied, you know, Eva, she's all hogtied on the whip, Spies is basically telling her, like, you said you didn't know anything about us, but you guys are monsters. You Twilights are monsters, and you bring dangers to all humans. And so after hearing that, Eva responds by saying, hunters are all the same. They're just like the normals. You're just like those normals that killed my parents, my mother and my father. You're just like them. So you're just like them. They're the ones who were laughing at us. They were beating us up, and then next thing you know, they killed us all. They had no kind of remorse. And so later in that panel, that same panel right there on that page, we see that Chester actually saved Eva from getting killed by the normal humans that were basically, I guess they were hunting Twilights that day when she was a little girl. And so, but we see that Chester, who at the time was with the guild, he was able to save Eva from getting killed. And I think that's how she got into the guild, because of him. And so she's thinking back about that, you know, and then she starts to ask Spies a question like, which one of you, you know, so yeah, Eva starts questioning Spies like, so are we really acting like humans here? So which one of us are human? Compared to Twilights, you guys are monsters. You hunters, you normals, you're the monsters. And by hearing that, Spies is like, what? You know, he's taken aback by that statement, you know. And you know, Stryker and Beretta, they're hearing this from the background. They're like, man, make this girl shut up, man. She's talking nonsense. I'm tired of hearing her mouth. You know, Stryker's like, go ahead and kill her, Spies. Kill her. And Spies, you know, by peer pressure, he finally does kill Eva. And before she dies, you know, she's telling Chester, her mom, and her dad, like, I love them. I love you guys. And then, you know, next thing you know, she's dead. She gets her neck cut off by Spies. So at the next scene, we have Luca Cristiano, the father of Loretta Cristiano. He's escorting some civilian Twilights. He's telling them all to go to Bastard for shelter. And then we see the anti-Twilight factions. These guys are normal humans, but they hate Twilights with a passion. So these guys, because of what's going on with the raid, I guess they heard about the hunters coming in there messing things up. They decided to join in on the action. And so they're about to attack Luca Cristiano and those group of Twilights that he's trying to help out. But Galahad comes through and he stops those guys pretty easily. And after seeing that, Luca's like, hey, Galahad, go ahead and call for reinforcements, you know, and if you can, try to get help from Daniel Monroe. Try to get help from those guys working for him. So eventually, Galahad does follow what his boss says. He meets up with his teammates, and we see, I don't know if you remember in the main manga, the main gangster manga, we see Hassan and Guy Wayne, those two guys working under Gina Plockley. So we see those two, they're actually kids back then, because in the main manga they're like in their 20s. So we see them as kids, and Galahad meets up with their superior officer who they're working under. So he meets with the superior officer. He's asking like, hey, we need some help at Bastard. We need more reinforcements. The superior officer's like, well, we could help you out, but we're kind of short-handed ourselves. So this is what I'm gonna do. I want you to come with us. I want you to come up with my team, and I'm gonna send some B-class Twilights over there to guard Luca Cristiano. That's what it's gonna go down. So if we see any hunters, if we see anybody that's killing Twilights, we're gonna exterminate them. We're gonna eliminate them on sight. So it is on sight when we see hunters. And then we cut to the scene, the other fight with the Bandana Man and Mini-Me. Mini-Me, you remember, is the guy that's got the scar over his eye, the burn scar over his left eye. And he also uses flammable gloves as a main weapon. And so Bandana Man, you know, noticing that Mini-Me just killed off a group of Twilights, you know, while he was fighting Bandana Man, he managed to kill those Twilights that he was trying to go after. And so basically he's asking me, hey man, what's your deal? You know, why are you going around the city killing all Twilights, man? Did they do something to you, man? Did they do you have a hatred for them? Or they did something to you like back in when you were younger? Like, what did they do to you? And Mini-Me said they did absolutely nothing to me. Mini-Me's like, Roast Boy is basically saying, the way I see it, man, this is just strictly business. It's nothing personal. You guys make for good business, and that's why I'm killing you off. And when the Bandana Man heard that, man, boy, was he mad. He's like, I'm tired of hearing you, man. I should have never asked you that shit. So, and then they start fighting again. And then we cut back to where we cut back the spies with Striker and Beretta, and they're about to kill off yet another group of Twilights. And Spies is able to catch up with a few of those Twilights, and he kills them off in the alleyway. They go in the alleyway, but they're trapped and they can't really leave. And Spies eventually kills them with the wires, but he can't get those nagging thoughts out of his head from what he heard from the little girl that he just killed, Eva. He can't get that nagging thought, you know. He's telling us, I'm not a monster. But what she's saying, is that really true? You know. But then next thing you know, Beretta spots a warehouse, not necessarily a warehouse, but like an abandoned building. So I'm guessing she's smelling Twilights. She could smell them. So she's telling Striker, hey, I think I see something really cool over here. Let's go check it out. And so Striker and Beretta go over there, and Striker kicks the door off. And then sure enough, there was a gang of Twilight families in there. They're all trying to hide from what's going on outside. And Striker's like, yeah, we hit the jackpot. We did it. And so and the Spies comes out of the alleyway, and in horror, man, all those Twilights start running out of that building, but there was no escape. Striker and Beretta just went to work. They started slicing, they started dicing, shish kebabbing, you know, puncturing, impaling Twilights, man. It was a mess. It was a very, very powerful scene right there. And they're just laughing, especially Striker. He's just laughing, having a good old time, hysterically. And he's just telling, and this is part of the craziest part of the whole sequence right here. And he's like, hey, look, Spies, look, it's shit. It's a mountain of shit. And he's just laughing, ha 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 ha. The Spies is like, he's at a loss for words, man. He can't do anything. Well, actually, he does do something. The one thing he does do, he just turns around and runs because he can't believe what he's seeing. Like, he's looking at Striker. He's looking at Striker and Beretta like they're the fucking demons. They're monsters. The way they're just killing off those Twilights, man. And as he's running off, he's questioning himself here. He's like, why are humans protecting Twilights? Why are Twilights crying whenever we try to go after them? You know, why do they have all these emotions? You know, he's asking about this, and then next thing you know, he's thinking about Marie, or Maverick here, the leader of the destroyers, the second destroyers. He's like, I need to go talk to her. Like, this isn't right. I gotta find her. And so, speaking of Maverick, we see her on the rooftop, and you know, she's viewing all the dead bodies because somehow she knocked off Sandra. We found out later on in the next volume that the woman is Sandra. Actually, in this chapter, we find out her name is Sandra. So she just knocked her on the other side of another building, just showcasing her strength, Maverick's strength, man. She's amazing. But yeah, and her partner is over there checking up on her. She's checking up on Sandra like, hey, you alright? But while they're doing that, he's checking up on her, and Maverick's looking around the streets, and she's noticing all the dead Twilights. Like, and then she makes a little speech here, and it's a very, very eye-opening speech. So let me see what she said exactly. Like, so basically, Maverick is saying like, yeah, we have to kill more of these Twilights, but we can't just kill them. We have to carve into their bodies the sin of being born on Earth as monsters. We need to give them more grief. We need to give them anguish. We need to give them humiliation. We need to give that more than they ever have gotten, with our own hands, meaning the hunter's hands. So it's their duty to make Twilight suffer no matter what. And once we do that, when we're successful, then we can that person will be rejoiced. And she says, wait for me, Abel, or Abel. Now who is that? who is Abel? That might be the name of the guy that they're that's probably telling them all these things, to tell them to kill off Twilights and whatnot. So that, I'm thinking that's who Abel is, who she's talking about. So it's gonna be very interesting to see who that guy is. He might also be the real leader of this third destroyer group here in the main manga of GANGSTA. He could be that same person that has a total dislike towards Twilight. So that's gonna be very interesting to see in the near future there. And so, after seeing her opponents get recovered, Maverick basically tells those guys, unless she's talking to herself, she's basically telling those guys, hey, I'm going to show you more dead Twilight bodies. I'm going to show you more dead bodies. And then the club's guy looking at her, man, she's laughing to herself. She's smiling, looking down, and just looking crazy. And he's thinking, man, something's not up with it. That is not the expression of a kid. Like, she is cold-blooded, man. Maverick. The fight between the club man and the woman and Maverick, man, it's gonna get crazy in the next volume. And then we cut to the anti-Twilights. They're continuing their raid against all the main Twilights and stuff. So, oh, I forgot about this. While Maverick is making her speech, we have cutscenes of the Monroe family fighting off the anti-Twilight faction, along with Warwick and Nicholas, the handyman, the future handyman. And we have another scene with Luca Cristiano. He's looking at the abandoned warehouse, or that abandoned building where Spy, Striker, and Beretta were. They killed off all those people, all those Twilights in there. And then there was another scene with Galahad and the team that he just met up, where he rendezvoused. They go to the street where Chester and Eva was killed. And they see their decapitated heads and decapitated bodies. So it's like very, very powerful scenes right there as Maverick was talking. And so now we cut to the gunshot. This is the gunshot where Joelle Revolt, that old lady, that's where she owns that shop. And so, but we don't see her actually. We actually see her, I believe that's her son. And he's selling a gun to a Twilight. He's looking to purchase a weapon because of what's going on outside. So he's giving him a weapon. And once that Twilight leaves, his wife comes in. And she's basically asking him, hey, I'm worried about the Pedro family. I think we need to go look for them. And so he agrees with her and says, yeah, we need to go. And then we see a little girl come out. Turns out that little girl is Connie. That's Constance Revolt. You know, in the main manga, she's a grown woman now. She's a young adult. And that's Spy's or Marco's girlfriend. So that's Connie as a little girl. And the mom basically telling her, hey, you need to stay here. It's too dangerous to go outside. We're going to be right back. I promise we'll come back. And then, you know, in the last part of the chapter, we see Connie. She's like, I'm scared. Don't leave me alone. And stuff like that. And that's the end of chapter 3. So I got volume 4 to review. And I guess I'll go ahead and put the link for these comics if you want to actually look at the comic itself, the manga. If you want to look at the manga itself, I'm going to put that link in the description box. Excuse me for talking crazy today. It's been a long day, but I wanted to go ahead and finish this review up. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'm going to continue on with volume 4 like I said, and you guys have a good one. Peace.